Till now we have been writing code in our IPython console, which is great for practicing and testing. And so writing code in the console is referred to as interactive programming. However, at some point you're gonna have to write programs or even simple functions which you want to store somewhere and you want to reuse them later. In that case, what we do is write scripts of code, and we have to save these scripts of code in a .py file. So .py is the extension of a Python file, and I'll show you how to write lines of code in such a file, and also how to execute the file so that you get the output that your code produces. And this can be done through Spyder. So we use the editor to write our scripts of code. So the editor is like a notepad program where you write text or even code. Now in Spyder your editor may be displayed by default. However, if your editor is not displayed by default, you can display it by going to the View menu and enabling the editor pane. I prefer to have the editor on my left hand side of the screen and the IPython console in the right, but you can put it wherever you want by simply dragging it. There's a temporary empty script showing up in my Spyder by default, so that you can use that temporary file to quickly start writing a temporary code, some temporary scripts. But I'll ignore it and close it. And I'll create my own empty script by going to File, and then New File. Now the green code that you see is not actually code. These are code comments. Comments are wrapped by triplets of double quotes, so if you write something that is wrapped in double quotes, Python will ignore it, so it will not read it as a code. The purpose of commenting of comments is to provide relevant code information to humans, so Python ignores such lines, and they are simply used to provide information to us humans. Now let's write some real code in our script in the editor. And I'll print a string here. So print, let's say, first line, and press enter. And now we are not executing anything by pressing enter here. So this is different from the console where we executed lines of code when we pressed enter. Here we execute scripts of code. And to execute, we use another technique. So we can write as much code as we want, and then we execute it using the green triangle icon here in the main bar. Or alternatively, you can press F5 from the keyboard to execute the script. But let me write another line of code before executing my script. Let's say print second line. And before executing, you first need to save your script somewhere in your computer files. So to do that, go to File, Save, and choose the directory where you want to save it. Good. The file is automatically saved as a Python file containing the .py extension, which stands for Python. And let's check that out. So here is the script that we just saved. And of course you can open it using other programs as well, and not just Spyder. Let me try and open it using Notepad, for example. So here is the code. Well, let's get back to Spyder now, because that's our favorite platform. Well, mine at least. Now we are ready to execute the script. So each line of code written in the script is printed out in the console. So that's the purpose of writing scripts. We write a lot of code and then we execute all the lines at once. Let's add the third line here. So print third line, why not? And once you have saved your script somewhere, you can simply hit run, and the run command will both save the changes you made, so you don't have to click save after every change, and it will also execute the script. At some point, you will want to close Spyder and continue later on writing or modifying your scripts. And I'll do just that now. I'll close my Spyder. And I'll open up that again. And as you see, the configuration of the windows and the view is the same as in my last session. The script is also the most updated one. So Spyder remembers the last view configuration and the script you wrote. So that's it. You don't have to navigate through your file system to locate the and open the scripts you write manually, because you can manage them through Spyder. And I'll see you in the next lecture.